Hi, and welcome to this tutorial video for the demo of Hammerting. I'm one of the developers, and I'm here to give you an introduction to the basics. There's additional help in the game, which you will find up here in the Book of Things. So if you're wondering about anything, you can check it out there. First to note is that you only have 1 hour of game time in the demo, so after that you will have to restart, but not to worry. Every time you restart, you will get a new map and new dwarves to play with. Also note that this is a pre-early access version of the game. So let's start with checking out one of the dwarves. We have 3 here, and let's start out with Elfrida. Dwarves have what we call the Dwarf Attributes: Deftness, Wisdom, Awareness, Robustness, and Fervor, which indicate their general disposition on what they're good at. They also have various status bars here. So there's health, there's energy, morale, and greed, and you're gonna want to keep these as high as possible throughout the game, because otherwise your dwarves will not be as happy and they will not be as effective, and they might even die. So, oh wait, there's more. They have professions as well, so different professions here to look at. Miner is really important at the start of the game. This dwarf is really bad at mining, but that's fine. And they also have inventory, and you can also note that many of the buildings have inventory as well, so whenever you craft something, it'll end up in that building's inventory. So the dwarf has some stuff in its inventory here, and the dwarves also have a tool belt. And the tool belt, the items that they have in the tool belt, basically indicate what they are allowed to work at and how good they are at doing that. So in this case, we have a pickaxe, a copper hawk axe, and a ball peen hammer. These are all used for different things. So for example, the hawk axe is used for attacking mostly. You can attack with a pickaxe as well, but it's not as good at it. So let's start with building a base. So we want a room, and the only room we have available from the start is the quarry, and the quarry is sort of the foundation of a good dwarven colony. So let's see, here they start building the quarry, and while they're doing that, I think I'm gonna explore a little bit. So you can see that while I'm exploring, I'm getting these sort of mountain lore icons here, mountain lore points, and I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. So let's see if we can find something nice here somewhere. Okay, so here we find some coal. Now coal is really useful for keeping your foundry and your other buildings running. Some buildings require fuel, and without fuel you are essentially stuck. Oh, we are under attack, but not to worry. These slimes in the beginning are fairly harmless, but nevertheless we should take care of them. So just order an attack order. I just right click on one of these, or you can do it like this. And now we can see that the dwarves are attacking. Also to note, in order to mine this, you click the mine and you just drag out this selection here. If you do it on coal or copper or something in the back wall, they will mine it, and if you choose something in the foreground like this, that means that they will dig these tiles away. And you can also cancel orders that you aren't really interested in. Oh, vicious lush. What is it to say? Visceral combat, right? Okay. Okay, so let's see. Our quarry is now complete, and our dwarves are here mining the coal. Great. So we're gonna queue up some granite chunks. Let's start with 15. That's a good number. And let's see here. So we have some copper here. That's nice. And a little bit here as well. I'm gonna ask for that to be mined. And I want to get up here. And there's a good way to do that. And that is with these stairs that you start with. So I'm just gonna drag these up here. So I'm holding the mouse down and I'm dragging. Chunk. Like that, I think. Okay, so I'm going to have to update, fill in more of these in a short bit. I just can't place it because I actually haven't explored here yet. So let's see. This dwarf is now going to go in here and mine these granite chunks. And you can see that now I actually have some more recipes here available. I'm gonna pause for a second. So recipes can unlock both after, like if you craft something, and that can unlock more recipes, but it can also unlock when you research. And I'll talk more about that in a second. So let's continue with this. This is fine. And now we can see in the buildings inventory there's 4 chunks crafted. So while they're working, I'm gonna go to the overworld. And we can see here that we have a mission available. So here you can find the mountain home right smack in the center. And if we click Ramford Bridge here, they have a mission. They want to build a bridge apparently, and they want 10 granite chunks, and they're gonna give us some stuff in reward, which is nice, right? So here you see 5 trade lore, for example. We're gonna get more into that. So accept that mission, and now when we go back, see, now you can see that they're gonna start picking up these granite chunks from the quarry, and they're gonna deliver them to this chest here. And when all of the 10 granite chunks are delivered, the mission will be a resounding success. Let's speed up the time. And there we get our reward. Nice, right? Okay. Now, one thing to note about crafting is that granite chunks doesn't really require anything. You just mine it straight from the mountain. But almost all recipes in the game require some form of input. So for example, if I want to craft some granite slabs, they do require granite chunks. So if I want to, let's say I queue this up. See granite slab here in the crafting queue. And you can see that that is now reserved. These 2 are now reserved for that slab. So that's fine. And now you can see that these are starting to build this huge stairway up to the nice copper. And while I'm doing that, we're waiting for these guys to continue working. Yes, so you can see that these are sort of idling right now, and that is because the stairs require some they require granite chunks, and there were none available because we had already used them all. So I need to queue up some more. Now while they're doing that, I'm going to take a look in the arcane lore. So you remember I talked about mountain lore and trade lore, and this is where we can sort of spend that to unlock new research. And probably the first one that you're gonna want is the metallurgy tech. And what that allows us to do is we can now build a foundry. And what is a dwarf colony without a massive foundry, right? I'm gonna place it right here. So if I place it here, the dwarves are going to mine away whatever is needed in order for them to start actually building. Let's speed it up. And let's see, okay, so the small foundry requires block of granite, and I'm not sure if I have enough blocks of granite. I'm gonna queue a few more of those. Okay, so now we see that there's a battle in the overworld, and that is one of the most important things about the overworld. So if we look here, we can see that there's a new crisis mission here, and what that means is that this is going to get attacked, and if we supply some copper ingots, they will successfully stave that off, and we'll also get some stuff in return, so that's nice. But to get copper ingots, we of course need the foundry. So let's see where we are with that. While they're digging, I can also just hint about these icons here. So these are useful to have a look at. To see if you have something urgent to take care about in your base. A lot of these are at the start will just indicate that what you really should focus on to get the colony up and running. Okay, so now our foundry is done. I'm gonna click on that, and I want some ingots. Boom. Let's see. Okay, now it's time to build this up. That. Do I have? Yeah, I have lots of granite. Great. Cool. And now I'm guessing that they are delivering. Yeah, so you can see. Oh, you can see here what they are currently working on. So generally in the game, you will want to dig downwards, because down is where you will eventually find all of the really good stuff. But occasionally you will of course need to go upwards to find even better stuff. I should also note that there are mushrooms in the map. You can harvest those, and those are really useful for later in the game where you can get the farming and the cooking up and running, so you can get your dwarves some food. There are also, let's see, I think I have something here. Okay, so let's wait until they have finished working here. And you can find various loot stuff in the map to find more resources. Oh no, we're attacking. So if unchecked, the enemies will attack your buildings. And generally, dwarves will at some point realize that that's not a good thing, so they will swarm to attack them. Now you notice that the health went down to 0 and the building went dark. That means that it's not usable, but it can be. The dwarves can repair buildings with granite blocks. So if your buildings are low on health, you need granite blocks to heal them up. And if you are low on fuel, as I mentioned earlier, you will want some coal. I don't know if I have any coal left here, but yeah, that's the way to refuel. And to get more coal, you will need to explore. So here, for example, I have some more coal. So I think I should be able to move here. Yeah, okay, so now we found a feast of boar, and I can click on that and click rummage, and then the dwarves will go there, and it'll spawn a few things. So you'll need to keep an eye out for these things. Here's a broken down minecart, for example. One thing to note is that in the foundry we can now craft beams, and beams, it looks like they are like a generic, like it almost looks like they're made of steel, right? But in fact, they can be made from different inputs. So you can click here and you can control what goes into them. And if you don't click anything, they'll just make it from whatever's available. So you can see that they've they're gonna make it from the copper ingots that are available. So if I wait though for a little moment here, I'll get a copper beam here. And you know, that's basically it for the tutorial. There's one more thing that I'm gonna show you, and that is that you can recruit more dwarves. And that is of course really nice, because that means that you can do more work and make a better colony faster. You can click on these and you can see what they are good at. The yellow bar indicates the dwarves, so Gunnil's skills, and the blue bar indicates your current level in the current maximum level in the colony. So for example here, Svenda is a great explorer, and I don't really have a great explorer in the map, so maybe I'll just hire her. Boom, and she will come in here, marching through the game. And now I can order her around to do my bidding. Great, I think that's basically it. There's a lot more, but as I mentioned, you can find those in the Book of Things. I do recommend taking a look in the ledger. Here you can find stuff like inventory, and you can also see all of your dwarves and what items they are currently using. One more thing before I forget. So you can actually sell items. If you mark these for selling, the dwarves will take them to the gate and they will sell them, and you can see your gold here going up. And gold you can use partly for recruiting dwarves, but the dwarves themselves will actually take some of the gold for themselves when their greed gets too low or too high, who knows. They will go and pick some gold up for themselves. Yeah, I think now you have a primer on everything you need to get started. You can also, if you want to, place individual blocks like this. That can be useful sometimes for bridging chasms or just getting quickly up to a certain point to mine or whatever. Yeah. Good luck.